Hey guys, Richard Scatlin from Mountain Horsemanship. I promised you guys some follow-up videos on that horse that I did the first ride on. His name's Loper. He's a coming 4-year-old. We're on about right around the 15th ride on this guy. I have him in a Hackamore. I like keeping him in a Hackamore until they're in a bridle or until the owner wants him in a snaffle. But I do get him going both ways. But today I'm in a Hackamore. I'm going to show you a few things that I'm working on right now, just a few minutes of kind of what we're training on. When I'm riding in this Hackamore, when I pick up on it, I kind of expect my horses to fill back for me. So when I pick up on it, they break at that pole. That gets them setting their weight back so that they can rock their weight on their hind end and start operating off of their back end as opposed to just kind of dragging along on their forehand. Something you'll see, well, you might not be able to see me do it, but I'll ride generally with what I call a 2-finger spread. So I'll have my thumb and my 2 fingers around a rein. And say I'm going to the right, and that's my 2-finger spread, and I activate my right rein. If his nose didn't tip to the right, then I'd put 3 fingers around that rein. If that didn't work, then I'd put 4 fingers around that rein. And if that didn't work, then I'd add some bumps to get his nose going in the direction of travel. So I'll always ride with the 2-finger spread, and then as needed, I'll add a finger, and then I'll add a finger, and then I can add some bumps to it. One thing I'm very particular about is a horse not hanging on my hands. I'm not going to ask him to sustain vertical flexion and softness for too long because he's not physically or mentally ready to do that for an extended period of time, but I will ask him quite a bit to get soft in my hands. Ask him to back up. And then what I'll do is I'll put him on a circle, just at a walk. 2-finger spread. I'll widen my hands if I need to, but I like to operate pretty close, about shoulders width apart on these guys. Someday he'll be ridden in a bridle, and your hand movements will be up here about the size of a dinner plate. So I start pretty quick, operating pretty close to their necks. And that's teaching them how to neck rein. And contrary to popular belief, neck reining is not where you just grab your rein, turn to the left, lean to the left, and pull your horse in the direction of travel. When I have a horse neck reining, that means if I'm going to the left, that means my inside rein comes off and my outside rein pushes. When my inside rein comes off, then their nose gets tipped in the direction of travel. So if I'm doing this little circle here to the left, then I ought to be able to see his left eyelid. And I'll ride a lot of circles until a horse gets pretty straight on the circle. Straight on the circle means he's got that bend throughout his body. He's not trying to run off. He's not looking out too much. He's just kind of walking a circle, being bent through his body. I'll let him have his head if he would like it. Just because I give him his head and stretch my arms forward does not mean that he speeds up. It means that he keeps that bend in his body and he maintains the speed that we're at. I just give him his head. And then when I want some vertical flexion, I'll just bring my hands back, and if he doesn't give, then I can add some light bumps to have him bring that chin in, like that. Now we're going to change direction, tip his nose to the right. I had to go to a 3-finger spread there. I'm back to a 2-finger spread. And they will bend naturally better one way than the other. Your job as a horseman to figure out which side needs a little bit more work. I'm going to continually change my body to help him get shaped up on this circle. So So if his hips are falling in, I can slide my inside leg back or pick up my inside rein to get the hips out. If the hips are sliding out, I can slide my outside leg back or I can pick up on my outside rein and have him bring those hips in. But I'll ride this circle till he's shaped up on it pretty good, and until his nose is following a fill and his feet are following his nose. But I'm constantly changing my body, constantly changing my hands to help this guy, so that he starts to stay between my legs and between my reins. His hips are kind of falling in a little bit, especially right here, so I'll kind of work on that. Make sure his nose is in, my inside leg's back, trying to keep those hips out, kind of like that. Tip his nose, ask him for a walk. We'll ride this circle. Now pretty soon what I can start doing is making sure my reins are even, and I can ride a circle as if I had a set of bridle reins in my hands, and I can take my fingers and activate my left rein if I need to. Left leg's back a little bit, right leg's forward a little bit. And if I move my hand to the left and he doesn't follow, then I'll bring my fingers in, split my reins, and I'll add some bumps to that left rein. Say, hey, follow that fill, that fill. And then we'll head to the right. Shift my weight, tip his nose to the right. That nose, if I need to, I can grab a rein with my hand. Just because I'm riding one-handed doesn't mean I can't go back to riding two-handed, if that's what he needs. If I need to rock his weight back, then I'll activate my outside rein, rock his weight back, as my inside rein is still saying turn to the right. Try to work on a nice straight back up. I don't ask for too many steps back up too early, because it seems like the more you ask, the worse it gets. So I'll get two or three good steps back up, stop on that, and then when that gets really good, then I'll ask for 3 and 4, 5 and 6 steps back up. I don't ask for 10, 15, 20 steps back up all at once. Walk, stop, back up, to a walk, to a stop. So controlling that forward motion. Back them up. Back them up, left foot, left. Back them up, left foot, left, left. Back them up, right front, right. That's his stickier side. You can obviously tell that's his stickier side. So we'll work on that a little bit. So right, right. And then I'll go into a backup. Right, right, right. That was better. When I'm asking for transition, I want vertical flexion in my transition. my up and down transitions, I'm looking for flexion. And down. And then when I pick up the trot, or the jog, we'll get some flexion. Down to a walk, and down to a stop. So I start to throw that vertical flexion into my transitions, upwards and downward transitions. Walk off. Asking for flexion, stop. Trot off. Canter, I'll come down to a stop, through a trot, through a walk, and then a stop. I don't always slam on the brakes. I like to kind of keep that forward motion going. Stop, back up, right. Right lead this tricky lead. Down to a walk. Stop and back up. That's kind of where we're at. For the sake of a long, boring video, we'll stop it there. That's kind of where we're at, 15th this ride. I think he's doing really good. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Subscribe to us on YouTube, like our Remountain Horsemanship page on Facebook, or you can even shoot me an email at remountainhorsemanship@gmail.com. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something. A lot of people are intimidated by the Hackamore. Don't be intimidated. Go out, get yourself a good quality one, and ride in it. Make sure they're not pulling on your hands. If they're pulling on you, make sure you bump them off your hands so they stay light in your hands and get their nose following, or their feet following their nose. Thanks for watching, guys. You have yourselves a wonderful day.